So ladies, in this video, I'm going to give you an update 2 years post explant surgery. I cannot believe it's been 2 years, but do you know what? It feels like longer. It feels like it's been 5 years. It feels like it's been forever, but in a good way. I know before I got my explant surgery, I found videos like this really helpful. Really helpful to see how people were getting on like 6 months, a year, 2 years after the surgery. I'm going to let you know if any of my symptoms have come back, stuff that I was suffering with before I got my implants explanted, stuff like swollen lymph nodes, etc. I'm also going to briefly take you through the positives and negatives of having implants. And then the most important bit, I'm going to show you my scars 2 years on. I know that when I was looking at explant videos, not a lot of people showed their scars up close. So I think that's really important, because honestly, that was one of the main things that put me off this surgery. So to be able to see someone's scars close up, that really helped me. And then also at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my top 10 tips, things that you need to know, just bite-sized pieces of invaluable information before you make that decision and get your explant. As always, I'm going to include chapters in this video, so feel free to skip to the part that most interests you. One thing that I do want to mention, recently, something that inspired me to do this video was that I listened to a really insightful podcast by a guy called Danny Morell. I'll put a link to the podcast in the description of this video, and I'll put a little screenshot of the podcast on the screen now. But he was interviewing this American surgeon, and this surgeon, literally, he has dedicated his life now to doing explant surgery. So give that podcast a listen. And as always, there's absolutely no judgment from me. Whatever you decide to do, my number one piece of advice before we get into it, you've got to tune in to your body, tune into your intuition, and see what feels right for you. Only you can make this decision. I had my implants for 10 years and I had the allergen natural textured implants. I'm not going to talk you through the explant surgery, anything like that, because I've already spoken about it in depth in my previous videos. If you click at the top of the screen, you'll be able to go to one of my previous videos. I've literally done a video when I was 1 month post-explant, 6 months post-explant, and 1 year post-explant. And I go into detail in those videos about the reason I decided to get implants, why I decided to get them out, my experience with the surgery, my experience with recovery. So I'm not going to repeat myself in this video. What I am going to do in this video, I'm just going to reflect back throughout all my experience and just give you a summary of what I believe the positives and negatives are of actually having implants. Let's start with the negatives. The negatives are that all implants cause cancer, whether it's smooth or textured implants. It has been proven that all implants cause cancer. I'm not going to go into depth with this. I've got into depth in my previous videos, but yeah, all implants cause cancer. So that's one huge negative. The second negative about having implants is that they've been related to a disorder called breast implant illness. And basically, this is an autoimmune reaction from your body from having these pieces of plastic in your body, which are classed as a foreign object in your body. And it's your body reacting to those. When you have implants in, your body is constantly fighting them every single day because it's trying to protect your body from this substance, from this object that's completely foreign, that's toxic. And that causes a breakdown in your immune system. So you can end up with rashes, you can end up with autoimmune diseases. It's even been linked to like anxiety and depression and neurological issues. So that's the second negative of having implants, which again is another huge negative. The third negative for me was the money. When you sign up to implants, I think I paid like £6,750 for my implants. And then they recommend every 10 years, 10 to 15 years, probably 10 years to be honest, you need to be getting them replaced, because after the 8-year mark or 10-year mark, your chances of rupture doubles. And with rupture, obviously the silicone's going to be leaking out, or the saline, whichever option you go for. You do not want that in your body. So I got my implants when I was about 21. That means I'm going to have them changed at least, 5 times in my life if I get to like, I don't know, 70 odd. Then when you're an old lady, are you really going to be putting your body through this? Do you know what I mean? Through this big operation. Putting my money, paying thousands of pounds every 10 years to put something in my body that's potentially going to give me cancer, going to give me autoimmune issues. It's just a no from me. It is just a no from me. All that money, imagine what you could spend that money on, like how many amazing holidays you could have. So that was the third thing for me. That's the third negative, the money. The fourth negative, what I've just touched on in that third point, putting your body through that surgery every 10 years. Literally, I see some women online, they have had like 10 boob jobs. I'm sorry, that is just like completely butchering your chest, just massacring it. I don't know, is that even the right word? Massacring? I don't know, but you get what I mean, like cutting yourself open, pulling the implants out, and then when they have got to like excavate all your chest and scrape stuff out, shoving more in, sewing you up for another 10 years, letting them fester in your body, then doing the same again and again and again. I just think, if I was my body, what would my body be saying to me right now? And I know some people might cringe at this, but like literally, my body would be like, please, Gabrielle, do not put me through this again. Please, I just want to look after you. At the end of the day, when you think about it, your body, every second of every day, is working its damned hardest to keep you alive and to cleanse your body, get rid of all the bombardment of toxins that's going into it, all the systems that are trying to allow you to thrive. And I just think my body doesn't deserve that. Like, my body does not deserve being butchered and cut up every 10 years to have these plastic bags of toxic crap put in it. So yeah, that's the fourth reason, the fourth negative of implants. And I call this the implant trap. And the trap is, you feel like you need implants to be beautiful and sexy. You feel like you're inferior if you've got a small chest. So then you get these implants, but then maybe you start to develop capsular contracture, which is a very common complication that can happen. I actually had that complication happen to me. I had capsular contracture in my left breast. Then you start maybe doing a bit of research and reading about breast implant illness and about, oh, actually these implants cause cancer, and there's some women in the world, like maybe 100 women have died from this cancer that has been caused by their implants. And then you start to worry. You start to be worrying like, oh my God, is this worth this? Like, this doesn't feel right in my body. And then it starts to affect your sleep, and you start to get anxious and stressed and have health anxiety. But then there's still this need to have the implants in, because you feel like, what will I be like without these implants? I'm not going to be sexy anymore. I'm going to have scars on my chest and I'm going to be flat chested. So even though I've got all this worry, I'm just going to carry on. I'm just going to bury that worry deep inside me and just carry on. But obviously that worry doesn't really go away and it festers there. And I'm just going to carry on shelling out all these thousands of pounds, even though my gut's telling me these implants really aren't good for me. They're not good for me. But I'm going to keep doing these surgeries. I'm going to keep putting my body through all this trauma. And here, can you see the trap? and I felt like I was trapped and I needed to break out. The fifth negative is the implant trap. The sixth negative that I see with implants is that if your implants rupture, quite often you don't know about it. It's a silent rupture. So they are leaking silicone into your body. And one of the first places that silicone goes is into your lymph nodes. But your lymph nodes are a crucial, critical part of your whole holistic system of the body. And they clear out all the toxins in your body. So if they're not working right, that is going to have an impact on other systems in your body, and other physical illnesses are going to manifest from that. Also, even if your implants don't rupture, as time goes on, as you have these implants in your body, bits of the silicone just naturally start to break off as the implants start to naturally degrade in your body and disintegrate. So those little bits are still making their way throughout your body. For me, those are the top 6 negatives of having implants. And I'm sure you'll agree, they're pretty horrific. There's 6 really big negatives. Positives of implants. So I'd say positives at the time, maybe the way that they look in certain clothes. And honestly, maybe they made me feel like quite sexy, but when I look back now, I think having big boobs and getting attention from that's the wrong type of attention. They're just going to instantly look at you, look at these big boobs and maybe think, oh, she's like super superficial, or she's super into herself, or she's got nothing going on except for being this like sex kitten persona. So yeah, they've made me feel sexy, but honestly, I still feel sexy now. And you can adapt your clothing, you can get clothing that suits your body. So now, to be honest, actually, I thought I'd have to like completely overhaul my wardrobe when I got my implants taken out. So I was a size D and I've probably gone to a B. I've not changed my wardrobe. Everything fitted me. Literally nearly everything. Maybe there was like a couple of things that didn't fit me anymore, but everything else fitted absolutely fine. So I've barely had to adapt my wardrobe. Positives of implants. I can't really think of any except for them making you feel sexy and getting attention for them, which is not the right way to go about things, I don't think. Moving on, how I'm feeling 2 years out. Honestly, I'm feeling ecstatic. I'm feeling really, really happy with my decision. This has been one of the best decisions that I've made in my life, because I have made some bad decisions in my life and this is definitely one of the better ones. I'm feeling healthy, I'm feeling happy. It took me 4 years to make my decision because I was so scared about how my chest would look and that I wouldn't feel sexy anymore. Predominantly, actually, I was concerned about the scars, as I mentioned before, really hung up on how the scars would look and that I wouldn't be able to cope with them. But yeah, I'm feeling great. I have got no regrets, even though I've got these scars on my chest. Zero regrets. And I'm just feeling really, really happy about it. I don't miss my big boobs. Yeah, I'm just completely over it. You know, when I was making my decision, I was really anxious. I had insomnia, and those things have completely gone. It just feels like a massive weight has been lifted off me. So yeah, I have zero regrets about Explant, and honestly, I'm just advocating for everyone to do it. If it feels right for you, literally face that fear. Like the fear, I cannot tell you how close I was to nearly just swapping my textured implants for smooth. I was literally that close because I thought all the smooth ones, they'll be better. They've not been linked to this cancer. But then when I looked into it more, I started identifying in the research that no, ladies with smooth implants have also ended up with cancer as well. And these cancers, they say that they're rare, but they're not really rare because the numbers keep going up and up each year. And these cancers are aggressive, like highly aggressive if you get them. Symptoms that I had before I had my implants removed. So I had enlarged lymph nodes under both armpits. I had a ringworm rash in my groin. My sleep was really, really bad. And I had an eye twitch. My eye would twitch quite a lot, and I think that was from lack of sleep. All those symptoms completely resolved. My ringworms never come back. My lymph nodes have stayed down. They're normal. I've not had any further complications with my boobs. The capsular contracture that I had, I used to get an intermittent pain in my left breast with that, a stabbing pain. That pain has completely gone. I will say I feel like the symptoms that I had, the lymph nodes and the stabbing pain was obviously related directly to the implants. The insomnia and the eye twitch, that was linked to the worry, the health anxiety about having the implants and knowing that they cause cancer. The rash in my groin, I don't know if that was stress or whether that was actually related to the implants, but what I will say, when I got my implants removed, that rash cleared up within a month, and yeah, it's never come back. Even though, obviously, in this 2-year period, there are times when I've been stressed with other things, but that rash has never come back. So I think that ringworm rash was related to my implants. One thing that I do want to talk about, something interesting, before I do the scar reveal, I want to talk about Botox and fillers. So a lady commented on one of my videos the other week, and she put, how about Botox and fillers? And do you know what? I agree. Obviously, Botox and fillers, they're toxic. And sometimes I feel like a hypocrite because I'm here saying implants are really toxic. I don't want anything toxic in my body, so that's why I got them out. I'd encourage you to get them out as well. But to be honest, since getting my implants out, I have had Botox. I have Botox every 6 months. And I've had fillers maybe once. I think the last time I got fillers was maybe a year ago, or maybe it was a couple of years ago after I got the Explant. In my gut, and I've always known this, every time I've been to get Botox and fillers, there is something in my intuition, my gut, that tells me, Gabrielle, you shouldn't be doing this. This isn't right. What's in this injection? You don't even really know what's in it. What could be the long-term health impacts of having these injections? Because I don't feel like really there's been that much research done on the long-term effects of Botox and fillers. As crazy as it might sound, and you might think that I'm an absolute hypocrite, which is valid, that's a valid opinion for you to have. Throughout all my life, this is something that I've really struggled with. Something happened to me at the age of 11. Some kids at school, they made comments about my appearance, and in that moment, something snapped in my head. And ever since then, all I wanted to do was change myself to be beautiful. So for me to have that explant surgery, like I said, it took me 4 years to pluck up the courage. Really, I wish I'd done that surgery. I just made the decision to have it done like after a year. I'm not going to tell you to do it impulsively because there's a lot to think about and you need to think about it seriously. But I shouldn't have waited 4 years. But the fear of what I'd look like held me back. So I'm battling with that at the minute. I know being so obsessed about your physical appearance and how you look, it's only going to lead to misery. Because, do you mean we're influenced by these trends? These trends are always changing on what our bodies should look like, on what our face should look like. And honestly, it's just exhausting and it's relentless. And there's no peace to be had in being so hung up about your physical appearance, and there's no joy. There's no joy and there's no peace, I can tell you that for sure. And with these surgeries and fillers, Botox, you get something done. It's so easy to get stuff done in our society. You move on to the next thing and the next thing, you notice something else that needs perfecting and the next thing. So I'm really trying to muster the strength to break free from this, because if I'm honest, I've been on a healing journey this last 5 years. At 30, I hit a rock bottom. I've done videos about this as well, so I'll put a video about my healing journey on the screen now so you can have a look at that if you're interested. Also, I've documented all my journey on like mental health and Explant. I've had skin picking disorder, depression, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. I've documented all that on my Instagram and TikTok, so I'll put my Instagram name so you can search me on there. But over this 5 years, I've really tried to work on my self-love, and honestly, I've come really far with it. I've probably gone from like 10% self-love to now maybe I'm at like 65% self-love. Like I said, the Explant was a huge step in the right direction for me. Like, that is monumental for me, and I'm super proud of myself for going through with it. But yeah, I'm still struggling with this. So even though I had the Explant, maybe I won't have fillers again. But recently I did some research on fillers. Years ago, when I was speaking about having fillers with my friends, I said, I bet you any money it comes up that like it causes cancer or something. And obviously all the advertisement around fillers is that, oh, it's hyaluronic acid, that's what's naturally found in your body. But yet when I was going to get fillers, I had a bad feeling about it. But I'll put a screenshot on the screen now, and I'll try and put a link to an article in the description of this video. This doctor recently, I can't remember where he's based now, but he has done research on fillers, and he's found that fillers are linked to cancer. So basically what happens is you're having all this filler put in your face and it clogs up the lymphatic system in the face. So they've done scans on people who've had fillers, and they've found that toxins are building up under people's eyes and in people's cheeks, because all the lymphatic systems, like the chin, the cheeks, under eyes, it's all clogged up with filler. So usually these toxins would be filtered out of the face, but now they've nowhere to go. So they're sitting in the face for prolonged periods of time. And obviously it's easy to see how this could lead to cancer, because cancer, from what I know, my very crude definition of it, it's just your cells mutate, don't they? So you can understand if you've got toxins laying in between your cells, those cells are going to end up mutating, aren't they? It's only a matter of time before those cells mutate. So yeah, I found that out about fillers, and I've seen a lot recently on social media, on Instagram specifically, about ladies getting Botox poisoning. And honestly, some of these videos are absolutely horrendous. These ladies, they honestly look like they're having fits. They look like they're disabled. They've got these tremors like this just constantly. They're feeling like they can't breathe. These symptoms, if you get Botox poisoning, they've gone on for like 6 months, a year, years. And these ladies have had to go for all these holistic therapies to get back to normal. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Even though I've seen all this online, some of you might be thinking, why the hell are you still going for Botox and fillers then? But all I can say is this narrative about beauty is so ingrained into us. Even though I know all this and I know the right thing to do, I feel this pressure. I feel like, oh, I just still need this little bit of something doing. And I was thinking yesterday evening, like, just the term, the phrase, fighting aging. So that term is put out there by the beauty industry. You know, the companies, and they're like, oh, this night cream will help you fight the signs of aging. Why do we have to fight the signs of aging? Fighting, that just sounds exhausting. Because obviously year by year we're getting older. Every time a new wrinkle comes up, you're like, need to get rid of that, need to get rid of that, blah blah blah, need to do this, need to do that. That just doesn't sound fun, does it? It just sounds absolutely relentless. And do you know what? I really want to be able to build the strength to be like, you know what, this is me, and I'm not being influenced by all this. Like, I'm not succumbing to this absolute insanity and pressure to be beautiful and have 0 wrinkles. Like, what's wrong with wrinkles? Like, why? We've been, in our society, we've been made to think that wrinkles are really ugly. That's just an opinion, an idea that's been put into our minds for like the last however many years. But it doesn't have to be like that. We can think about it differently. Now, even though I'm preaching this right now, I will just say I'm a long way from being able to accept this, I think. But in this lifetime, part of me, I'd really like the strength to just like let go of this. Just let it go. Again, it would feel like such a weight off my shoulder. Not having to spend all this money on this shit that's like, in some cases, literally poisoning us. And do you know what I mean? If it's not the Botox, if it's not the fillers, it's all these lotions and potions that we're putting on ourselves that aren't natural, that are full of toxic chemicals. So recently, and I did a video about this, I'll post it on the screen, I've been really being more conscious about the products that I use, and even like the stuff that I'm using in the kitchen, like the types of pans that I'm using, eating organic food, getting organic fruits and veggies. But I still understand there's a bit of a contradiction here, and I can be a bit of a hypocrite because, yeah, I might be eating organic food, drinking filtered tap water, but I'm still getting Botox. But what I will say is, honestly, I won't judge people for this because it takes time. It takes time. When it comes to toxins, when you start looking into it, it can be so overwhelming. Do it a step at a time. I'm taking it a step at a time. So no, I'm not perfect. I'm on here saying I've done this Explant, get those toxins out your body. But yeah, every 6 months I'm still getting Botox. But I'm a human being. I'm going on a journey with this. I'm taking it step by step. I'm not perfect. So the juicy bit, scar reveal. I'm going to show you my scars up close. I'm now at my parents' house because I forgot to film the scar bit at my house. I'm just getting ready for the gym, and here are my boobs from the side and from the front. So I'm a B now. And my scars, here they are. So you can see the scar there, just a thin white line. I've still got these little, just 2 little red bits, one here and one on the other side. And that's just where I think the stitch, the internal stitch, was just poking out a little bit, but I'm sure that is going to disappear with time. So my scars are in the crease as well, because some people's scars end up a bit lower down on their rib cage. And then this is that one. There you go. So you can just see the little red bit there, but that'll go down with time. And the rest of it is so neat. So they start from here and they come to there. So yeah, those are my scars. I'm super happy with them. Like I said, one of the things that put me off this surgery was what the scars would look like. I think I thought they'd be these horrific looking things, and they're really not. They're really discreet. But like I said, I went to a top class surgeon, Mr. Guy Stern, in the UK, in Wolverhampton, and honestly, these are the best surgery scars I've ever had. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Stern. So ladies, next bit, top 10 tips for Explant. The most important tip number 1, research your surgeon extensively. Go for a surgeon that specializes predominantly in just doing explant surgery. It's their bread and butter. They do it every single week. They do it multiple times a week. They've done hundreds, thousands of these surgeries. This surgery is a very complex surgery, especially if you're getting your capsules out. It's a very intricate surgery, so you need to go to the best of the best, because when you go to the best surgeon, your risks are decreased. You're likely to get a better outcome. So for something like this, please research your surgeon thoroughly. Tip number 2, be wary of breast explant social media groups, specifically Facebook groups. So there's some common groups out there. There's one group called Healing by Nicole, and that's all about breast implant illness. And then there's another group called BIA-ALCL. So that there is one of the cancers that you can get from implants. So that's what that group's called. What I will say is, on the explant groups, although there's pockets of useful information, especially if you reach out to certain ladies and ask them specific questions, that's something that I did. I even asked the ladies, I was like, would you mind sending me a picture of your scars? And some ladies even sent me a picture of the full result, which I really appreciated, because obviously I'm just a stranger on the internet. Those groups can be really useful, but what I would say is, a lot of the time the groups can become addictive because there's a lot of bad outcomes on there, and there's a lot of ladies who are in absolute turmoil with their health. With bad outcomes, I mean bad results of explant surgery. And again, that fed into my fear of, oh my God, like I'm going to be deformed after my surgery. Just note, there'll be a lot of people like me who go on those groups and don't comment. There'll be tons of people who've had brilliant outcomes and they don't comment. People often only comment when they've had a bad experience. There's a lot of ladies in absolute turmoil, anxiety and fear, dealing with terrible health issues on those explant groups. But often I can empathise with those ladies, but I'd come away and I'd feel fear. It fed my fear. And a lot of the ladies on those groups, they've got numerous things wrong with them. They're covered in rashes, their eyes are twitching, they've got stomach issues, they've got headaches, blah, blah, blah. And everything, they're seeing that everything's related to the implants. And I don't believe that, to be honest. So just be careful and set your boundaries with these Facebook groups. My third top tip, if you're really struggling with the decision to have an explant or not, write out a list, and not just positive and negative, but write out the words, what if I do? What if I do have explant? What if I don't? And take the time, take a pen and paper and take the time to really think about this and write that down. Because honestly, you'll have your answer right there. It will really help you. If that doesn't make it clear for you, the next stage, so top tip number 4, close down your eyes, put your hand on your heart, take some deep clearing breaths for a minute. So that's going to regulate your nervous system. It's going to calm everything down, and it's going to make you very aware of what your body's doing right now and get you in tune with your intuition. and ask yourself the question with your eyes closed, your hands on your heart, feeling calm, somewhere you're not going to be disturbed, and ask yourself, what if I do? What if I get an explant surgery? And then when you've asked yourself the question, sit there for a minute and see what comes up for you. Do you have any sensations in your body? Do any words or any voices pop into your head? After you've asked yourself that, maybe ask yourself the question a couple of times and just sit there for a good few minutes, maybe like 5-10 minutes. Then ask yourself, what if I don't? Same process, eyes closed, hand on heart. What if I don't get the explant surgery? And see what comes up for you. The sensations in your body, do any words come up? Do you hear any voices in your head telling you a certain thing? That voice, by the way, you're not going crazy. That's your intuition speaking to you. I didn't do this when I was making my decision. Again, I was very much in fear, looking at these groups like, oh, not calm at all. But when we calm everything down, that's when our intuition comes through. That's when we can think with clarity. So my number one tip to you is really calm things down and ask yourself those questions and trust yourself and trust your intuition. Top tip number 5, get your capsules removed. There's quite a bit of debate about this online, but honestly, if you're going to go through with this surgery, get it all removed. So what do I mean by capsules? So when you have your implants put in, your body attacks the implants, and to help protect you against this foreign body, your body creates a capsule of scar tissue that encapsulates the implants. So some ladies, when they have the explant surgery, the surgeon makes the cut and he literally just pulls out the implant and that's it. But that scar tissue, that capsule is still in there. The thing is, that scar tissue, like I said previously, your implants over the years, they're degrading. There's little bits of silicone and God knows what coming off those implants into your body. And where does it get captured? It gets captured in that capsule, in the scar tissue, but it can also get through that scar tissue as well. So often that scar tissue can just be full of toxins. But yeah, some ladies decide to keep that in there. For me, again, my intuition was telling me, you need to get it all out. Like, you really need to get it all out. Like, if I'm going to go through with this surgery, I might as well just go the full hog. One of the reasons that put me off getting the full capsulectomy, so it's called M-block capsulectomy when you get the whole lot out. One thing that put me off is that people were saying, oh, the scar is bigger when you have that done. When you just have the implants taken out, the scar is a lot smaller. Honestly, ladies, you've seen my scars. Like, those scars were worth getting the whole capsule out. I think there might be like an inch difference between the scar just getting the implant out and the scars that I've got when I've had everything out. Honestly, these scars, they're smaller than I thought. I think I thought these scars would be like from here all the way into my armpit. They're discreet, my scars, they're absolutely fine. I would recommend get it all out. But again, it's up to you. It's up to you with what you can live with. For me, I know if I hadn't got the capsules out because I was so concerned about the scar, in the back of my mind, I'd have been thinking, how about if there's some nasty stuff in that capsule and it's lingering in my body? How about if that's like growing into something else? There's a cancer in there, it's whatever, do you mean it's poisoning me, whatever. I just know I couldn't have dealt with it. So again, tune into your intuition, what feels right for you. Top tip number 6, this is really important to know when it comes to managing your expectations. Even the best surgeon can't guarantee the outcome, as in what your boobs will look like. So even though I went to Dr. Stern in, where was he based? Wolverhampton. I went to Dr. Stern in Wolverhampton in the UK. He's the creme de la creme. He's one of the top surgeons in the UK for explant surgery. He couldn't promise me that I wouldn't be deformed after the surgery. So I'm going to say that did freak me out. But I knew by going to the best, it was less likely to happen. But yeah, that's just something to note. They cannot guarantee what the result will look like. They don't restructure your breast tissue or anything. They literally just take them out and then your boobs settle down. That reveals the outcome. Honestly, don't let that put you off your decision. Please, please don't, because it's very, very unlikely that you'll get deformities. Top tip number 7, do not go for the cheapest price surgeon. Just don't do it. If you can't afford to go to the best surgeon, it is honestly worth saving up for another couple of years to go to the best surgeon. Or maybe if you can afford it and if you can manage your money in the right way, take out a credit card, take out a loan and pay it off over a few years. But only if you can manage that loan. Obviously, I don't want you getting into financial difficulty with this. Top tip number 8, be extra kind to yourself after the surgery. There is no need to rush back to the gym because your body's gonna go to shit or whatever. Honestly, I'm super into the gym, and like I said, I have been hung up about my external appearance over the years. I could easily have fallen into the trap of thinking, I need to get back to the gym as soon as possible. My body's gonna deteriorate. But you know what? No, I was in the mindset, I've got all my life to work out. So me, even if it's 2 months off the gym, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Focus on resting. Your body needs to rest to recover. I was back at the gym, I think it was within 5 weeks. Within 5 weeks, I was doing lower body very lightly. And then to be honest, I think after 6 weeks, you can start doing your upper body. Again, did it light. But honestly, within I'm going to say a couple of months, but it was probably within a month, I was lifting the same amount of weight that I was lifting before. Didn't rush myself, but I just found that I recovered quickly from the surgery. I did really well. Again, everyone's different. Tune into your body. Ask your body, what do I need right now? Do you mean, do I need rest? Do I need more time before I go back to the gym? What do I need right now without letting fear come into play? You've been through a big surgery, so just really look after yourself and really look after your body. Like I said before, your body's doing all it can to keep you alive every second of the day. And it's obviously with the explant surgery, it's been through a big trauma again, so support your body to get better. Top tip number 9, do not let fear take over. Like I said, my decision, it took me 4 years. That's because I was absolutely crippled with fear. My top tips for releasing fear, you need to release that fear from your mind and body. So meditation, breath work, sauna, cold water exposure and journaling. When you calm the body, you calm the mind. If you're anything like I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get this cancer. Oh my God, I'm going to get autoimmune diseases. Oh my God, I need to get explant. Or what am I going to look like after? I'm going to have these scars. Oh my God, I'm going to be deformed. Blah, 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 blah. Every single day. And honestly, that's what will make you ill. That gets you down. When that's the constant narrative in your head, your intuition can't come through. There's no space for intuition to come through and for you to make a logical decision. So you need to calm yourself. Calm yourself down. When you calm yourself down, a practice every single day, dedicate yourself to calming yourself down. You might feel like, oh, Gabrielle, I can't sit still for 2 minutes. That might be the case, but you're going to have to force yourself. You're going to have to force yourself, because this will honestly help you in all areas of your life. Not just for making this decision, it will help you in the long term. Calming myself over the last 5 years has been the biggest game changer ever. So what I'd say is experiment, have fun with it. Try 2 minutes of breath work. Go on YouTube, find a guided breathwork session, see how you like that. Try 2 minutes of meditation. Maybe do meditation by yourself or do a guided meditation. Go to a breathwork and cold water exposure class. You don't have to go to a class for cold water exposure. You don't need a plunge pool. Go in the shower, set your shower to the coldest setting possible. Build yourself up to a 2-minute cold shower. All this stuff is going to release fear from your body. It's going to regulate your nervous system. Your body's going to be in a calm state, and that then sends signals to your mind. Your mind is constantly assessing the state of your body. And when your mind senses that your body's calm, your mind will then feel safe. It'll be like, everything's fine, everything's safe, there's nothing for me to worry about. So then you'll notice you've got less thoughts, you've got less fearful and negative thoughts, and you move into the role of the observer. So when those fearful thoughts come in, you don't automatically jump on those thoughts, believe them, let them pull you down into this spiraling, catastrophizing, awful state. You notice that it's just a thought and that it'll pass through. I always say, like the clouds in the sky, these feelings, these emotions, these thoughts, they pass through us. Calm yourself down every single day, commit yourself to a practice. Your intuition will start coming through and you'll be able to make a decision, and you'll be able to make a decision more quickly because you'll trust yourself and you'll trust what's coming up for you, and you'll be like, that's the right thing to do. That is the right thing to do. And all that other chatter that's coming through is just absolute fear and nonsense, and I'm not going to listen to that. I know what I need to do, and I know what's right for me and right for my body. Top tip number 10, don't get bogged down in the details. Honestly, before I was due to get my surgery, I'd go on to the Facebook groups and people be like, oh, you need this list of stuff to take in to the hospital with you, and it was like 20 things and blah blah blah. Okay, I understand these people, they're just trying to be helpful, but that can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. Like, shit, before I go to hospital, I need to get this list of stuff and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, what did I take into hospital with me? Pajamas, loose fitting clothing. You're only there for one night. A few toiletries, probably like a bit of makeup to go home with the next day. Maybe not though, because my dad just came to pick me up. I don't think I had any makeup on. My phone, some water, maybe a few snacks. I don't even think I took snacks, to be honest. I think I took some sliders. Yeah, they said to me that I needed to take some sliders to go down to surgery in. But then on the day, I could have just walked down to surgery in my surgery stockings, so they weren't even needed. I went out and bought them. So yeah, you really don't need much. So don't be getting yourself all worked up about preparing for this surgery. The surgery bra. So I actually only wore the surgery bra for an hour, and I found it too tight, and I didn't wear it. I didn't wear that surgery bra at all. I didn't have any bra on. I just had like a little top on like this in the day. Not like this, because this is quite nice, but like just this little strappy top that I wore under my pajama top. Don't get too hung up on all these details. So I'm going to conclude this video. This was meant to be a quick update, but as usual, it's gone on for longer than I thought. Final words of advice: calm yourself down, commit to a practice every day of calming yourself, block out all the noise, do your research. Yeah, there's a time for research, but then there's a time for just tuning into your intuition and what feels right for you. Sit with yourself quietly, like I said, eyes closed, hand on heart. Ask yourself these questions. What if I do Explant? What if I don't? What comes up for you? And then there's other questions that you can also ask yourself. Are these implants giving me health anxiety? Is it impacting my mental health? Is it causing you daily worry and concern and flooding your body with fear? Because that's not good. That really isn't good. When we're in a constant state of fight or flight, we're constantly stressed. That impacts every single cell in your body. And over time, chronically being in that state, that's when disease starts to manifest in the body. Honestly, the more that I'm learning on my healing journey, I'm really identifying how emotions, particularly suppressed emotions and ones that we allow to linger and don't address, that is what is causing a lot of the diseases in this day and age. Do you want to be spending these thousands of pounds every 10 years? Do you want to be putting your body through that surgery every 10 years? Do you want to be having an anaesthetic every 10 years? Not being funny, I don't particularly like being put to sleep. So I don't like the thought of every 10 years I'm going to have this operation and be put to sleep. That scares me, so I don't want that hanging over my head. Do you want to break free from this trap? Or do you not feel like it is a trap and you're completely happy with your implants, that they don't cause you health anxiety? Only you know, you are you, and it's your life, it's your body. But just be completely honest with yourself, because when you're not honest with yourself, you might tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm fine with these implants. Oh yeah, I know it causes all this stuff, but so what? But then deep down, you're having these little niggles in your head from time to time. That lays in your body. Do you know what I mean? That's not good to have that in there. Your body's in conflict. It's not in alignment. It's not got balance and harmony. So just really be mindful about stuff like that. If you've got any questions about Explant or implants or anything that I've talked about today, drop them in the comments or contact me on social media. Contact me on my Instagram or TikTok. I just want to say thank you so much for listening today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thanks so much for listening, and good luck on your journeys, ladies.